Gracias por la medicina, gracias por la tierra, gracias por la hierba, gracias por todo lo que haces por mi cuerpo y los cuerpos de mis amigas, de mis amigos. Gracias. Gracias al aire en mi cuerpo y no en mi cuerpo. Gracias por el agua de nuestros océanos y el agua de mi sangre. Gracias por el fuego de mi espíritu. Y gracias una vez más a la tierra. Gracias por la medicina y una vez más gracias por todo lo que haces por mi cuerpo. Gracias por todo lo que haces al mundo. Gracias, medicina. Gracias por mi claridad de mente. Gracias, Pachamama, Mamaagaia. Gracias por todo lo que haces por mi espíritu. Gracias. Gracias. Thank you for joining me in prayer. Cannabis has been such a help to me in my life. And because of that, I always make sure to honor and thank the medicine for what it is allowing my body to feel and heal through. The reason I feel it's important for us to show homage to the plants that we are consuming, whether they're plants that we're eating, whether they're plants that we're smoking, whether they're plants that we're simply breathing in and sitting with. The reason I feel it's important to connect to these plants is because plants are conscious. Plants are to be honored. They are to be protected. And we never want to feel like we're raping the land. Because if we're doing that, we're raping ourselves of life and vitality, prosperity, abundance, love, nurturing, all of these different elements that Mamaagaia embodies. And you know, I really feel called to share this because there was a point in my life where I wasn't aware of this. And I was smoking to get high, you know, just not knowing what I am smoking, specifically speaking about cannabis. And so through what I've learned in my communities what I've learned from elders in indigenous communities is that we are one with Earth. And, you know, I always had this inner knowing in me. As a little girl, my mom would always tell me. I would sit in the back seat and just look outside to the forest that we would pass on the highway and just like zip my eyes back and forth, trying to catch every tree, trying to see every tree. And I've always been mesmerized by Mamaagaia in this way. But it didn't really click and connect in my mind, even though I was doing my yoga, my meditation, going outside, you know, and being in nature and hearing and listening to birds. When I was in high school and beginning college, I would smoke this medicine without the consciousness that a spirit is communicating to my spirit right now, to my soul. And I increasingly became aware of the health benefits of cannabis and how it was slowing down my anxiety. But then, you know, I moved through different phases over time and began to realize that the cannabis was actually making me feel paranoid and making me feel a little bit foggy and clogged in the head. And of course, the more conscious I became, the more, I developed that deeper connection with Mamaagaia and knowing that I am being supported by plant allies right now, and to honor and thank that in the same way I would honor my ancestors and my spirit guides, because Mamaagia is our spirit guide. I would also become aware of the actual quality of the herb that I am consuming and ingesting, meaning being aware of the quality of your herbs, making sure there are no pesticides in them, no weird chemicals and fragrances and all these different things. To make sure that the herb is clear and untainted by, you know, artificiality, by different chemicals and fragrances and toxins that we should not even be ingesting into our lungs. Even smoking with a lighter, butane is not the best for our system or our lungs, as well as just the heating of the chest and the lungs and the vocal cords. But there are ways around it and ways to minimize the intrusiveness onto our bodies. Like hemp wick. I have recently run out of hemp wick, so I didn't have access to any today, but usually I light hemp wick, which is a great medium for smoking the spirit into your spirit without doing so much damage to the vocal cords and the lungs. So it makes for a more gentle burn coming through the body, as well as it does not send that toxicity of butane into the body. So you're being relieved of the harshness and the chemicals that come with smoking spirits. So yeah, that is my extension to you of plant medicine and how we approach interacting with plant medicine, because I think that it really needs to be done. And I feel like Mamaagaia on a day-to-day basis is being raped, is being disrespected, she is being polluted. People are just smoking her mindlessly and not connecting with cannabis and what this medicine is actually doing for us and doing to our bodies. As well as physical people are actually being infiltrated, and every human is a child of Earth. So when we take a hit, so does she, and it just reflects back until we decide to make changes in our life and do something different with our energy fields and really become aware of ourselves and take care of us, because when we take care of us, we can take care of her. That goes for anything in life. When you take care of yourself, you are in a more optimal position to take care of others. So the more clear we are to even come to the consciousness of the fact that we are one with nature, we are connected to nature, and we do have an interesting and divine connection with Mamaagaia, and that Mamaagaia lives inside of us. Once we come to that awareness, we can then give back to the earth in a more clear way, because we understand her more deeply. We understand her more deeply now. So thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in, thank you for sitting with my prayer, and I hope that this inspires you to carry more conscious exercises into your day and conscious ceremonies into your day with plant medicine. Because after moving through all of these stages of my own relationship with Mamaagaia, I really learned quickly that cannabis actually is my ally, because I opened myself up to invite her in as an ally by becoming more conscious and aware of how she interacts with my spirit, as well as how she can really help me in knowing to get clean sources of her, if that makes sense. And once I opened myself up to have that conversation with Mamaagaia, to receive her medicine in a more refined and respectful way, I was able to really feel what her medicine could do for my body. I really started to realize that cannabis is my number one ally. You know, I wouldn't even say number one, and if I would say number one, I would say it for this time being, because I have different relationships with psilocybin mushrooms. I have a different relationship with ayahuasca. But the mindset that I have with all of these medicines is letting them call me, and listening to my body and tuning in with my body, my intuitive body, and asking myself, does my spirit wish to connect with this medicine right now? Is this medicine, and again, it's not something that you consciously think, like, is it? When you feel the call of whatever medicine is calling you in, ask your body. You know, ask your body, because we have to check in with if we're actually hearing that call, if you're following me. So we have to, you know, if we hear the call of combo, for instance, we want to know who's hearing that. Who in here is hearing that, you know? Is spirit hearing that call, or is ego hearing that call? And don't get me wrong, ego serves its purposes, and it's very essential and actually needed for the human body, for us to have that radar on to know if we are in fight or flight. How are we going to get out of it? How are we going to protect ourselves? You know, like wild essence in nature. Always want to keep that within, just like an inner child and all these other different layers of self. But essentially, as far as the medicine goes, we want to be able to know that our spirit is being called, not our ego. Essentially, we just want to make sure that we are not feeding our mind and feeding ourselves with the things that we think we need, but are really utilizing because we are running or escaping or trying to cope, rather than celebrating that spirit is calling in this medicine because this connection can serve me in my highest good at this moment in time. So yes, really sit with that, and I invite you the next time that you pray with plant medicine or mushrooms or whatever it may be, whatever medicine is calling you, that you ask yourself, what is my relationship to this? That you thank the medicine before indulging, and understand what your relationship with the medicine is. And that's all from me. The sun is setting, so I see that as a call to realign with my circadian rhythm and go inside and get some food. But much love to you, family. I'll see you soon.